Boris Johnson was put on the spot today during PMQs when the Daily Mirror published a photograph which very much appeared to show him at a social event in Downing Street behind me during the December lockdown in 2020.
Mr. Speaker, in the last few minutes, a photo has emerged of the Prime Minister in Downing Street on the 15th of December 2020, surrounded by alcohol, food and people wearing tinsel. It looks a lot like one of the Christmas parties he told us never happened. So for the sake of my constituent and the sacrifices she made, will the Prime Minister be referring this party to the police, as it's not one of the ones already being investigated?
Prime Minister.
I'm afraid, first of all, I'm very sorry about his constituent and for the difficulties that she's been through, and I understand very much her feelings, Mr. Speaker. But in what he has just said, I'm afraid he is completely in error.
Now, the photo was taken during the number 10 Christmas quiz on the 15th of December 2020, when London was in Tier 2 restrictions, which meant you weren't allowed to socialise with people outside of your own household. And it shows Boris Johnson and 3 aides in a room preparing to ask questions at the quiz. And on the table in front of them is an open bottle of bubbly and a packet of crisps. So what do we already know about this party in particular, and whether the police are going to investigate it? So on the evening of December the 15th, number 10 staff were invited to take part in a virtual quiz over Microsoft Teams. Now, most staff did take part in that quiz from home, outside of the office, virtually over video conferencing. Some of them even chose COVID-themed quiz team names like Professor Quiz Witty and Hands Face First Place. But the Mirror has established since then that organisers had planned for some staff who had been working in the building during the day to actually take part in the quiz over video conferencing, but from their desks in the building in person. And this is something that number 10 chiefs were aware of ahead of time. It wasn't just something that happened spontaneously. Not only that, but it's understood some of those who did attend in person stayed around in number 10 after the quiz, drinking and chatting for several hours. And no work was discussed at the event. It was a purely social gathering. The Mirror revealed in December that the HR director of Downing Street had sent a message to staff advising those who were taking part in person to leave through the back gate. Now, Boris Johnson hosted a round in the quiz, taking part from a room in number 10, as shown in the picture, where one aide is wearing a very fetching tinsel scarf around his shoulders. Now, this event was part of Sue Gray's probe, but it isn't one of those that is being investigated by the Metropolitan Police. The Met said that at the time of Sue Gray's update a couple of weeks back, the threshold for investigation at this particular event had not been met. And when the Mirror first reported the story, again back in December of last year, Education Secretary Nadhim Zahawi suggested it definitely wasn't a party because there were, quote, no alcohol on the table. Well, now we know that isn't true. What we don't know, and what Downing Street won't tell us, is whether the Met have seen this picture, which shows not only the Prime Minister taking part in a social event with people outside his household, but confirms, with the help of an open bottle of fizz, that it was not a work event. Now, Boris Johnson's team are putting a brave face on. They're batting away questions about this with the usual swerve of let's wait for the inquiries to conclude. But sitting in the press gallery at PMQs today and looking down at Tory MPs, you could see them, when this picture was published, passing their phones around, showing each other this picture after it was published. And what Boris Johnson knows very well is that his immediate future is very much in their hands.